Welcome to DET tutorial. We are still looking at quadratic equation and we are looking at situations where b is equal to 0. And I've said before that generally a quadratic equation is represented by ax squared minus bx plus c is equal to 0. So there are situations whereby bx will be missing or b is equal to 0. So in situations like that, there is a particular way you solve, and we have looked at some examples in previous class. So in this video we'll be looking at this example. Solve the equation 4q squared is equal to 36. So the equation is 4q squared is equal to 36. So what you want to do is to divide both sides by the coefficient of q squared. This is a general principle in maths, to divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient of q squared. So, and the coefficient of q squared is 4. So this will be 4q squared equals to 36. So like I said, the general principle in mathematics requires that you divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient of q squared, which is 4. So this is divided by 4 divided by 4. So 4 will cancel 4 to make this q stand alone. So this is q squared is equal to 36 divided by 4 will give us 9. So what I did is I divided both sides of the equation. What I did here is I divided both sides of the equation, both sides, by 4. Whatever you do to this side of the equation, you also do to this side of the equation. That is the principle. So here I have q squared is equal to 9. What will not be the value of my q? So to make this q stand alone, what I will do is to find the square root of both sides of the equation. So this will be q squared is equal to 9. So I will find the square root of this side of the equation and also look for the square root of this side of the equation. So this square will cancel the square root to make this q stand alone. So my q now will now be equal to square root of 9 is equal to 3. So what I did here is that I looked for the square root of both sides. So my answer is equal to 3. So the other question that I have here is to solve the equation 2b squared is equal to 2. So the equation is 2b squared is equal to 2. So what I will do here is to make this b squared stand alone. And how will I make this b squared stand alone? Is to divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient of this b squared, which is 2. So this is 2b is equal to 2. So this is divided by 2 divided by 2. So what I did here is that I divided both sides of the equation, both sides, by the coefficient of b squared, which is this 2. So I divided both sides of the equation by 2. So 2 will cancel 2. So that will make my b squared to stand alone. So this is b squared is equal to 2 divided by 2 will give me 1. So b squared is equal to 1. So what I will do here is to look for the square root of both sides of the equation. So this is b squared, square root is equal to 1, square root of 1. So what I did here is that I looked for the square root of both sides of the equation. So this square will cancel the square root. So that will make my b stand alone. And the square root of 1 is equal to 1. So this is the answer to this question. So basically what you will just do is just to follow the principle of mathematics, dividing both sides of the equation by the coefficient of whatever is attached to this b square. Then after that you now look for the square root of both sides to clear off this square, to clear off the b square. So the other question that I have here, which is the last one, is to solve the equation 16k square is equal to 49. So the equation is 16k square is equal to 49. So just as we have done before, what I would do is to divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient of this k square, which is 16, to make this k square stand alone. So this will be 16k square is equal to 49. So this will be 16k square divided by 16 is equal to 49 divided by 16. So what I did here is that I divided both sides of the equation, both sides, by the coefficient of k square, which is what? Which is 16. So I divided both sides of the equation by 16 to make the k stand alone. So this 16 will cancel this 16 to make this k square stand alone. So this is k square is equal to 49 all over 16. So having done this, the next thing I will do is to look for the square root of both sides of the equation to make this k stand alone. So this will be k square is equal to 49 all over 16. So this is square root of k square is equal to square root of 49 all over 16. Whatever you do to this side of the equation, you also do to this side of the equation. So this square will cancel this square root. So that will make my k stand alone. So my k now will now be equal to, the square root of 49 is 7 and the square root of 16 is 4. So my k is equal to 7 all over 4, or one whole number 3 all over 4. This is my answer. So k is equal to 7 all over 4, or 3 whole number 1 all over 4.